So this guy thought it was a good idea to adopt a black baby and immediately jump on TikTok to ask black TikTok on how to brush their baby's hair. Oh man, that did not turn out the way this guy expected, man. But before I play the clip, man, TikTok did some investigating and a lot of interesting things came out. A lot of interesting things, man. The internet's not feeling this at all, man. But before I do it, let me throw some keywords out there, man, so you guys can begin to paint the picture. So you guys can begin to paint the picture in your heads in regards to where this story is heading, right? So we got Texas in the building, right? We got two dudes who adopted a black baby, right? They're a couple, so that means they're gay, right? Convicted felons, recovering drug addicts, and have been charged over 100 times. Let's play the clip.
I'm hoping to get this TikTok over to black TikTok. Any black parents, we have adopted a black baby. Her name is Zoe, and I don't know what to do for her hair. I have this.
You could have just said you adopted a baby. You didn't have to say we adopted a black baby. Her name is Zoe. You could have said we adopted a baby. Her name is Zoe. We needed a little help combing her hair. That because you don't got no hair. You bald, so you know what I'm saying. But nah, man, you just went black right away, man. Right away, jumped on TikTok.
I have something from Shea Moisture. I really don't know what to use, so please, any black parents or anyone who knows what to do with black children's hair, please help me in the comments. Thank you.
Oh, that's a beautiful little girl, man. All right, now let's take a look at the picture of the dudes, and then we're gonna go and see a TikTok investigator and everything that he found. This story is pretty crazy, man. This set TikTok on fire. They had to delete their pages. Did not turn out the way they went over there looking for clout. All right, so this is the couple right over here, right? That's one of the pictures from them. This is them posing with their dogs and their baby. I ain't gonna lie, man. Gay dudes got swag. This is a picture, man. This guy took a picture with the mother at the hospital. So this is the picture of him at the hospital with the mother giving birth. And oh man, they did a photo shoot right away. I mean, immediately. This is a picture of the baby on a sign that says hope. This is a baby of her on top of a right outside out there, and this is just her in a car seat, not properly buckled. But yeah, let's go look at what the investigator found on TikTok.
Hey Light Shiners, so this video is going to be a recap of my investigation with Zoe and her adoptive fathers. I did get to speak to Will. He was the adoptive father who was brushing the hair. I spoke to him yesterday for about an hour on my live, and I did get confirmation of all of my questions that I had on my previous video that you guys just watched. So I'm going to go over those facts. I'm also going to answer some of the questions of how did this all even happen. So let's start with the facts. The first fact that I, as an adoptee and an adoptee advocate, want to make very clear that this was a legal private adoption. It is very unethical, but they did it the legal way. And because there isn't much governmental oversight, really no oversight with private adoption, as long as you have the money, you can get your product, which are babies. So let's start with the facts. The first fact is Will and his husband are both convicted felons. That's just the fact of the matter. I spoke to Will about this yesterday, but like I said in my previous video, most people who struggle with addiction also that coincides with a laundry list of convictions. And
the fact that Will even speak to anybody about this is crazy. I would have deleted those social media accounts and pretended like it never happened.
Unfortunately, between him and his husband, there's over 100 charges, many of them felony charges. Not all convictions, because I know convictions and charges are different, but they both have been convicted with felonies in the state of Texas.
The internet came with receipts, man. They even found his card in Texas. This is the ID right here that they had for Will. Texas offender Holmes William Carroll. That was 6/23/87. Okay, so this guy is 36 years old.
Now, out of all of those convictions and charges, none of them were child abuse related. None of them were sex crime related. But if we're sticking to the facts,
thank God. I mean, at least that's a green flag in the story.
There were violent felonies.
Spoke too soon.
There. And there are also many drug felonies on there. To be clear, we're just dealing with the facts. The second fact of this case is both of the adoptive fathers are recovering addicts, but they both have at least 10 years under their belt, okay? So that's just a fact, and we support people who struggle with addiction.
Okay.
And we know that rehabilitation can happen, but that's just the facts. Once again, we just covering the facts here. The third fact of the matter is, where did the Zoe come from? And this is the most upsetting. Zoe's mother is a 23-year-old former foster youth who already has 3 prior children, 2 in her care. One, I believe, is with a family member or a friend. I don't know if the third one got adopted out. I believe it's with a family member or a friend. This is something we see from foster youth all the time. More than 75% of women who will grow up in foster care system will be pregnant by the age of 19. And this is a statistic that I talk about regularly.
That's not really a crazy statistic, man, because in the Latino community, I mean, most of these chicks are pregnant way before 19. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually shocked. I would have thought it would have been probably like 16. So by 19, I mean, that's a grown adult already. So that statistic isn't really that shocking. I think it'd be the complete opposite.
So for the people saying, well, she just gave up her baby. This was a foster youth who was also failed by the system, right? And the system then convinced her to give up her child. It's generational trauma, y'all. And the last fact that I want to share before we get to answering some of the most common questions I saw was this done legally? And unfortunately, yes. So let's get to the questions. Now, I know y'all wondering right now, how the did he get approved for adoption? Well, after speaking to Will yesterday, he did tell me that he and his husband both knew pretty much that they couldn't go through the foster care or the public adoption systems, because foster care and the public adoption systems, they do have policies and procedures that prevent felons and people with previous drug addictions from being foster parents or adoptive parents through the public foster care system or public adoption. Now, the difference between public adoption and private adoption is public adoption has governmental oversight. Private adoption does not. Private adoption is just a private industry, a private adoption company, or a private adoption attorney. In this case, Will and his husband used a private adoption attorney who then hired an adoption social worker to look for a baby to adopt. Most of these babies that they look for to adopt are either in y'all's community, your churches, or sometimes they will go to private adoption agencies and pay a fee for some of their referrals. Yeah, you heard that right. Adoption agencies. If you guys have seen the ads, can you not take care of your baby? Do you want to offer your baby a better life? That's not foster care advertising to you. Those are private adoption agencies who then...
Do you want to offer your baby a better life is a wild ad. That's crazy.
Sell that baby to the highest bidder, whether that be an adoptive parent or a baby broker. They're called baby brokers. This attorney was a baby broker, and they just try to find their clients' babies. Well, Carlos, I thought that in the state of Texas, you said that you couldn't adopt and be a felon. I did, and you can't unless you go through a private adoption and you use a baby broker, because if you use a baby
broker, man, that's a crazy title. That's a crazy job description. Imagine meeting somebody at a bar, be like, oh, so what do you do for work? Oh, I'm a baby broker. Excuse me? What? A baby broker? What do you mean a baby broker?
That baby broker is the one who approves you, not the government. Remember, I said that private adoption has no governmental oversight. So meaning that if the baby broker just wants your money, right, they can just ignore your background, which many do. All they have to do is find a parent who they can coerce to give up that child, have that parent sign over for adoption, and then wait 6 to 12 months after the baby was born and then finalize the adoption. No background check. Now,
that's crazy.
Did say that he and his husband did go through a home study and did go through a background check. But once again, these home studies and background checks are approved by the baby attorney, the adoption attorney, or the baby broker. So of course, they don't really, as long as you got the money, they don't really care and they will approve you. Oh, right. The last fact of this case is that I forgot to mention. Will has so far spent $7,000. He's probably going to spend anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 more to get this adoption finalized.
That's pretty cheap.
Most other adoptees make content on how we can stop the private adoption system and why we are anti-adoption. You guys will ask us, why are you anti-adoption? Why are you
Wait. So you're an adoptee and you're anti-adoption. I can understand why you would want to stop private adoption, right? Because what you just described to me is a little crazy, right? I mean, once you incentivize people to find you something and you're paying them, people will go through extreme measures. So I can understand how that can go south real quick when you're going through a private adoption agency, right? Because all they're looking at is the money. Okay, how much money you got? All right, we're gonna find you a baby. That could go south real quick. So I can understand that, but to completely be against adoption, I mean, I think that's a little crazy, because at the end of the day, I mean, these kids are out there. What are you going to do with them? They can't raise themselves, you know what I'm saying? But let's hear him out. Let's see what else he got to say, because he is an adoptee.
Anti-adoption because of cases just like this.
Yeah, but that's not most cases, though. You know, so it's wild for you to be completely against something just because, you know, this case is a little crazy.
This is a private adoption that allowed 2 convicted felons with violent charges to get their hands on a child. Now, They might be good people now, but we can't guarantee that for all people.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. I don't know these dudes, but I don't think they're good people, bro, because they immediately jumped on TikTok thinking that they were gonna go viral as the gay couple who adopted a black baby, and they were probably gonna find a way to monetize this, because that's a wild thing to do. You adopt a kid and you jumped on the internet right away, immediately, like fresh, like, yo, we gonna go viral, man. We're gonna be the next internet sensation of the gay couple who adopted a black kid in Texas.
And if we allow one set of felons to adopt a child, we open the door for all felons to adopt a child, right? And I know some felons can be good people, but a lot aren't, okay? I will be making more videos about how we can, as a black community, protect our children. I believe that we need to create something like ICWA, which is the Indigenous Child Welfare Act, right? That Native children can only go to Native families. I believe that should apply for black children, Latino children, and Chinese children, all races of children.
I can understand the argument for that, because, I can understand like a black kid and then with a white family. But when you're in a messed up situation, it's like, who cares, yo? Give me a home, man. Give me a home. Give me a warm meal. Give me some clothes. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want at that point. Like, if I was out there abandoned, like if somebody was to abandon the Broskee as a kid, it's like, yo, I don't care if they're white, Chinese, man. I don't care what they are, bro. Man, I'm hungry. I'm starving. They got food. They got food in the house. They got shelter. They got heat. Fuck it, I'm in there.
We should be placed with our culture first. So in closing,
I don't think this guy understands, man, that our culture is Latinos, blacks, Asians, any other race of people, man. We like to have our own kids, man. We're not really too fond of the idea of adopting. Like, you don't really hear about that in our countries where we come from. When I came to America, I was shocked at how big of an industry that is actually here, which is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, a lot of kids are finding homes. Do some people end up in some shitty situations? I mean, dude, a lot of us end up in some shitty situation with our own parents. You know what I'm saying? Life is not perfect. But, yeah, if this guy was to really do his research, man, he'll quickly find out, man, that, yeah, our people, we're not really into the whole idea, generally speaking, of course.
He did nothing illegal. It's unethical, but it's complete.
No, he didn't do nothing illegal by going through the private route. But believe me when I tell you, those two have done plenty illegal with that criminal record.
Legal in the private adoption world. Everybody who's upset and asking what can we do, we can call Congress, we can call our state representatives, and we can get fucking pissed off about this is allowed to happen in our country. This is human trafficking. This is slavery. Adoption is slavery, especially private adoption.
All right, bro, you're reaching, man. How you going to say that adoption is slavery? Come on, dude. Especially coming from, I don't understand a lot of these kids that were adopted. I went down the adoptee TikTok, and a lot of the horror stories that these people were describing, I'm looking at them like, bro, most people with their biological parents go through the same shit. Like, I can understand why you wouldn't know that, right? Because you're probably thinking like, oh, my life probably would have been different if my parents would have wanted me. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the stuff that they were saying there, I'm like, dude, that just sounds like all of our toxic parents. Like, what are you talking about, my man?
And for all the people saying, call CPS, call CPS, call CPS, unfortunately, he hasn't committed he hasn't broken any laws. So you're going to waste your time calling CPS. And when people are saying, let's save this baby, Zoe, at least he has addressed everything on the live. He said he's going to learn and do better. And he's going to actually listen to adoptees, take some more adoptive parents.
Okay, at least he's taking accountability for, listen, man, we all sometimes do some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? But at least he's taking some sort of accountability, like, damn, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Parent courses. So he said that he's acknowledged what he has done, and he's willing to learn and make a change. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you something, though. All of y'all talking about, oh, we need to rescue this baby, we need to save this baby. Unless y'all going to go and adopt that baby and provide them with a better life, yeah, y'all going to have to sit on the sidelines, man. Because at the end of the day, y'all just mad. And nobody likes to talk more than the people on the internet. Now, me personally, I think that's a little bit of a wild idea, how you can just go to a private adoption agency and just get a kid if you got money, and like there's no government oversight. Like, it's just like, where are these babies coming from? In his case, we know because he took a picture with the birth mother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's a pretty wild and crazy story. When I first seen that, I'm like, I couldn't believe that it was happening out of Texas. Like, if it would have said California, New York, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. But Texas, I was like, damn, you got gay dudes, felons, private adoption, black baby. It's like, what? But anyways, man, I hope everything turns out well for that little girl. You feel me? At the end of the day, they've been sober for 10 years. That's impressive. A lot of people can't do that. They acknowledge where they went wrong, and hopefully it all works out for the best, man. But a lot of red flags there, man. Peace.